Hello everyone and welcome back to another Space Sailors News. The main focus of this video is going to be a lot of things, not just one thing. One of them you can probably see right behind me. We'll be talking about that later this episode. We're just going to be looking over 6 things. One of those being this rocket, like I said, which not the planet, as you can see. You can tell the name, the Mercury Atlas, but we're gonna get to that soon. Don't mind him, he's just there. Anyways, I think that's it. Yeah, let's get straight into it. Yay! Wait, what's that? So the first of 6 things we're going to be talking about in this video is, like I said, the Mercury Redstone plus Atlas and Gemini rocket upcoming update. Coming soon. Now basically, this is going to be a new rocket that's going to be featured in the game. Some information, it's going to be probably coming out before the Saturn V update. If you don't know, the Saturn V update is going to be like a travel back in time to 1969 where the Saturn V rocket launched. And of course the Mercury Atlas and the Gemini were before the Saturn V, so I mean it's only fitting for them to be before the Saturn V update. But yeah, as you can see, I'm putting some images on the screen. There's some sneak peeks, quite a lot of them actually. Looks really detailed, I like it. The one on the left, if you can see the rocket on the left. The one on the left is the Mercury Redstone, and the one on the right is the Gemini rocket, which 2 of them were, I'm pretty sure, used just for like testing before the Apollo stuff. But that we should expect soon, maybe like, not soon, like in a few weeks. It's probably going to take a long time to make. Maybe later this year, because the creator, Boy, did say that the Saturn V update could release anywhere from within like a month, or maybe all the way to later this year. Who knows, but it'll be this year for sure. Now you can see by the sneak peeks, you can see the capsule, you can see the rocket's engine, and the logo for the Mercury Gemini update, which is called officially the Ohio project, because I think those rockets have something to do with the state of Ohio. Yeah, that's the first thing that we're going to be taking a look at. Now moving on, the second thing we're going to be taking a look at is actually something super interesting. So as you may know, there's new badges in the game. There is a new badge in this game. It's not what you might think. It's called the Venus Archaeologist badge. Now this one is just really intriguing, really interesting. Its description reads, given to arcane Venera drivers who has identified an intriguing pattern on Venus. To get the badge, you need to find that intriguing pattern and submit the information to another... Oh yeah, no, I don't have the full image. Yeah, basically, it's kind of a weird puzzle. It's kind of confusing. But basically, there's this code, or less of a code and more just like a thing you have to discover and find out. There's this code on every surface, not just Venus, as you might have thought. The Venus one is the only one that has a badge that's attached to it, but all the other stuff's all on this. So meaning, where I'm standing right now, there could be, anywhere around here, could be a hint of this cosmic code. Now, as you can see in the achievements section, apparently this badge is not obtainable on Venus, but achievable in the Spaceport resort, which means, well, it actually means you have to submit this information on a computer. So let's actually go there right now and find out. So right here, submit cosmic codes. Now, if you can read this, it says, send any cosmic codes here. Note that you may need to own certain items, vehicles, badges, etc. for your findings to be credible. This will be beneficial for other space agencies out there to greatly help in their research and development. Now, thing is, I don't know any cosmic codes. Another thing, nobody else knows in the entire game other than the owner. At the time of recording this, that is. Literally no one else knows anything about these cosmic codes or where they might be. But, you know, it is in Venus. But, you know, apparently one of these cosmic codes is available here in the Spaceport Resort. Now, I would try to go and find what this thing's all about. I would try to search the entire map, but, you know, I feel like that could take hours, and I don't really have all the hours to search in this entire area. But I am wondering, like, what are these cosmic codes? Like, what do you have to find to get them? Is there like a pattern? Is there like a text? Like, is there a secret code, like a encoded binary base 64 Morse code thing, like I don't even know, but wherever it might be, just know that it's out there. And it's on every surface, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, this could literally be anywhere. If you think about it, this is the hardest badge, but the easiest badge at the same time. Wanna know why? Well, it's the hardest because, one, no one's gotten it yet, so it'll be extremely difficult for anyone to find it. But it's also the easiest badge, because, as the creator said himself once in a Discord message, that once someone finds one of the codes, it's gonna be pretty much copy and paste for everyone else, meaning anyone's gonna be able to just copy the code and paste it into the computer, which would mean that anyone could get that badge. For the Venus one, of course it's probably not for any of these Earth ones or the Mars ones, but it's gonna be quite the badge for people to get, especially for the people that like badges. Well, now that that's out of the way, we can move on to our third thing we're gonna be taking a look at, which is actually sneak peeked back in January, but we're just going to be taking a look at it now because, you know, it's an upcoming update. It exists. The third thing is a A7L suit, basically a new suit, a camera, and an MMU, or a man maneuvering unit. Basically, this new suit is going to be coming out with the Saturn V update, same with the camera. And if you don't know, this suit, pretty sure was used on the Apollo mission, so it's going to be very fitting. Very fitting. And this camera, which will also be coming out with the Saturn V update. And I must say, this camera is insanely detailed. Just look at that. Like, you can see every little detail. But I hope this camera will be actually usable. I think I see a screen on the top, or like actually I don't think that's a screen, that's probably just like a sign. This will be available on the Saturn V update, so more excitement for that, you know? And the other thing is the man maneuvering unit, which will be a thing for the ISS. Now this thing's used in real life for, like, say you're in space outside of the ISS and you don't have a rope connecting you to the ISS. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna use the man maneuvering unit, which will make you have like a weird controlling thing. You can control where you want to go without the use of a rope attaching you. That'll be useful, and it'll actually be more accurate, because right now when you're at the ISS, there's no rope attaching you. You just kind of move around with your little thrusters. It's kind of I guess, unrealistic. With this update that'll be coming soon, it'll make it a lot more realistic. Alright, so now we're moving on to the fourth thing we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, you may be wondering why I'm in the menu. Well, you'll find out in a second. So you see this play button here. You see the changelog button. But you also see an upcoming updates button. You click it, look at this. There is a list of upcoming updates. Now, there's a lot here. We're just going to kind of analyze them. This list kind of like a time frame of each update, which is really interesting. But right here, the first one, 2024, Aerosonius lander. Which, oh yeah, speaking of that, if you're wondering what Aerosonius is, remember that Mars lander I talked about in another Space Sailors news episode? Well, now that actually has a name. And that's named Aerosonius, which is a pretty cool name. But yeah, that'll be coming out 2024. It's going to be available on the Lunar Gateway, Moon, low Mars orbit, Mars, low Ceres orbit, Ceres. It's going to be in a lot of places. $1 million too, so might want to get some money in the game if you want to buy this. The next one is the Aerosonius follow-up update, low Moon orbit. I don't know what that could be. That sounds like something really interesting. And then third, the Mercury Redstone, which is gonna be on Earth and Florida Past. Florida Past is like the time machine thing. That says it'll be coming before Saturn V, which this Saturn V update also 2024. Next one is the Gemini update, which is also Earth and Florida Past, but this one says it's gonna be coming after Saturn V, which is interesting. This one, just another rocket, probably similar to Mercury Redstone. Next one is the more Spaceport resort expansions, which means likely we'll be getting maybe new buildings, new activities to do. Most likely new buildings. I think there'll be some new places to check out. Now I move on to 2025, which is the Dragonfly on Titan. Dragonfly, it's like the Ingenuity helicopter on Mars, like a flying dragonfly literally, because Titan has the atmosphere, and you know. Well, that's 2025. That's gonna be interesting. 2026 says the Soyuz revamp on the Cosmodrome. This is the other rocket that's also in the game that most people I've noticed seem to forget that it exists, because it's kind of hidden, I guess, because most people just use the SLS to launch. Also in 2026 says the Havoc manned Venus missions on Venus. Now the Havoc is, I think, like the proposed idea for like blimps on Venus, kind of in Venus atmosphere type thing, but that's gonna be a thing. Manned Venus missions, that'll be interesting because right now we only have access to rovers on Venus, or one rover, and soon that'll be manned, which means we could go on Venus ourselves, which will be super interesting. I wonder what spacesuit will be there. The creator said that it'll most likely be like a concept spacesuit, not like anything realistic. It'll have to be like weird because Venus. The next thing is 2027, the Galilean, which is the 4 main moons of Jupiter, which will be extremely cool because just imagine on Roblox, you flying in orbit around Jupiter. You see Jupiter in the background while you're flying right next to like Callisto, or one of Jupiter's moons. Just imagine how cool that would be. That's 2027. Also in 2027, the Manned Titan missions, which will be near Saturn. That's pretty far away. Probably kind of like Venus as well, because Titan is getting the Dragonfly, much like how Venus got the Zephyr first, and then it's getting the manned missions. And then 2028, we'll have the Phobos and Deimos update. I think that'll be cool again, but it'll be interesting for sure. I'm excited to see how that'll play out. And then finally, 2029, the Mercury update. No, not the rocket, this time it's the planet on Mercury, which means by then we would be able to explore Mercury, Venus, Earth, the Moon, Mars and its moons, Jupiter's moons, and Titan, which means we'll pretty much expand all the way out to Saturn and space sailors. Now keep in mind, if you can see that there's asterisks there, which means that it's not guaranteed, which means there's a chance that, actually probably super high chance that Mercury won't come out in 2029. It could come out earlier, it could come out at any time. But yeah, like it says here, subject to change, which means it will change. This is just kind of like a planned list. And now the final thing to talk about in this video, a pretty minor thing, but you know, it kind of gives an idea of that more Spaceport Resort expansions that was seen in the upcoming updates list, which is a new building. You know, there's just like one image of it, but new building, like a social spot type thing where we can watch the rocket, relax, and sit down on a couch, and it just looks cool. Well, yeah, we've pretty much taken a look at everything we've had to take a look at in this video. Now those are all the 6 things, but yeah, just let me know if you like this type of Space Sailors news content where it's just like a actual news type thing instead of just gameplay. But remember, this won't be permanent. Say for example, the Mercury Redstone update releases, it'll probably be more of a gameplay video. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like and subscribe, this will help the channel as always. Comment too, can't forget comment. Have a great day everyone, and goodbye.